We are here with Addison Johnson out of West Valley City. He is the owner, operator, recruiter dude here. And Addison and I had a really interesting conversation a few months back about the differences between MRP and new truck leases. And I still don't think we agree, but that's okay. What we want to do is we want people to make an informed decision.
There we go. You didn't agree?
Well, what did I just do? I just leased a new truck.
That is true. That is true. You went opposite direction.
I went the opposite direction because I believe part of this discussion is going to be the freight volumes and things like that. And I believe that the freight volumes are going to go up next year. And if they do, then my new truck lease, I think, beats the MRP.
As far as operations goes, yeah, I can see that.
If I get back up to that 3,000 miles a week like we're used to,
Yeah, that's key right there.
that's the key. So, first of all, tell me what is the first? There's three types of lease programs at Swift right now.
That's correct.
There's a traditional truck lease like you guys are all used to. There's MRP, which stands for,
Maintenance repair package.
and then there's a third option.
So for our company to owner transfers, correct?
Yes.
And that's our FX, which is a fleet exchange, which is taking your company truck and converting that to your owner operator truck.
Right. So, the two options that I have used or thought of using, I've never done an MRP.
Mm-hmm.
You'd still be hard pressed, man. I just gotta tell you. We've done the numbers on it, and so your take on the numbers though were a little different than Charlie and I, and that's taking into account the cost of the different leases, and the freight volumes, the way they are sitting right now.
Correct.
And the thing with the MRP program is that you've got this compulsory maintenance account, which basically you're paying for a warranty. It's no different than if you go out to Aero Truck Sales and buy a 3-year-old Volvo, which is kind of their famous thing over there, the 3-year-old Volvo. That's their thing. And you get that extended warranty, you're going to pay about the same. And it covers the truck for basically as long as you have payments. The MRP is the same thing. But you have this compulsory, it starts at 7 cents a mile into the MRP maintenance program.
Correct. And that's going to cover like all your basic stuff: alternators, starters, bearings, hubs, suspension, electrical. So those normal wear and tear programs.
Right.
Normal wear and tear, parts of the truck.
And then on the major repairs, and this is something that's interesting to me because I've just retired an older truck because of some pretty heavy repairs that need to be done to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on the MRP, that's where it starts making a lot of sense. Is if you have a lot of breakdowns.
Yep.
We just had a member of our group that had the whole one box replaced.
Yep.
For like $3,000.
Yep.
Because it's an 80-20 split. The deductible on is 20%.
Correct. And that's where that additional 5 cents covers.
Right.
The additional 5 cents covers. Similar situation. I just had another owner's compressor goes out. That's $10,000 fix. His portion $22,000, $2,500 after everything's said and done.
Right.
So
yeah, it's something to think about, folks. I just leased a brand new truck. Well, not brand new. There was a dude that didn't make it that had it before.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be nice and put it that way.
There's a barrage of different reasons. Yeah.
But it's considered a new truck lease because the truck has less than.
So it's actually yearly based.
It's yearly based now. It's not mileage based.
Correct.
Okay.
And so the truck will be leased out for its first 4 years of the truck's life, while it's covered under that manufacturer warranty, which is the key part.
Oh, okay. So yeah, my truck's a 22, so it's only a year and a half old, basically. Yep. So the advantage there, though, is my warranty. I'm not paying for that warranty at this point because it's got that 400,000 4-year warranty on it. We debate a lot about the warranties.
Mm-hmm.
Because those of us that have actually paid a truck off before have seen the difference in how we're treated at shops when we're a cash customer versus warranty. Well, go park it in the back of the lot there. We'll get to you next week, Skippy. You know, warranties, they can save you money, but they cost you time.
I can see that.
Now, if you're going to come to Swift, we have a Swift guy right here that you can call. Interesting thing about Swift is that if your truck is in the shop for more than, say, 3-4 days, you can rent a truck from Swift.
Yep.
Even if you're not in an IEL lease, it's a lot better if you are. I think the last I looked, is it still 7 cents a mile for the rentals?
It's 7 or 8.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very low cost per mile to rent a truck from Swift if your truck's in the shop. Now, if you're not in an IEL lease, then you're going to end up paying a full lease payment. I happen to know that because I asked. So if you're not already leasing a truck, there's no like deal for the rentals. It's basically, you know, $400 a week for a rental if you're not already locked into an IEL lease. But it's still better than a Penske.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those guys, you look at them, they're $500-600 a week plus mileage.
Yeah. Plus the accessibility.
Right. So one of the advantages to whether it's MRP, new lease, or FX, you are involved with international equipment leasing, which is kind of linked to Swift. It's complicated. We're just gonna say you're getting your truck from Swift. How's that?
There you go.
You're getting your truck from Swift. You have the either the factory warranty, or if you have an MRP, maintenance repair program. If you have the MRP lease, your truck is taken care of basically. Anything major, it's a 20% deductible.
Yep.
And that includes, I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but that includes an engine, by the way.
Yes, it does.
So when Charlie and I have run the numbers on this since it came out, because the program's only, what, 5-6 years old? If that?
If that. I think Swift has implemented that maybe 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
2-3 years.
So when we did the math on it, it just, what we came up with is, it depends.
Yeah.
It's like anything else. You're going to have a slightly lower weekly payment on the used trucks.
Yep.
But you're going to have that, again, compulsory, no way out maintenance account that you have to put money in. But, you know, what we've also seen is a lot of people, I mean, this happened to Charlie and me with our older trucks. We didn't put enough money away. And so then what happens? You have a $20,000-$30,000 repair, and you're like, oh, crap. Well, time to go try and get another truck.
It eliminates that what if scenario.
Right.
Eliminates the what ifs.
And I think that's, especially with the MRP, that's what they were after.
Correct.
Was get rid of that risk of this guy's going to lose his truck because he didn't save enough freaking money.
Yeah. That's good.
So, and you know, if you're looking at your business and trying to lower your risk profile, that's not a half bad way to do it. So you're giving a little control over, but what's the trade-off? The trade-off is you're going to have the money in your maintenance account if something happens.
Yeah. So, and the payment alone as well gives a lot of opportunities for dedicated account sectors, you know, where their miles are still sitting at 2,000, 2,200 miles. You know, it gives them that opportunity of becoming an owner with that lower truck payment and still be able to, you know, to make money on it.
Right. Yeah, that's something with the dedicated accounts. A lot of them, they don't pay what OTR does.
Yeah.
But right now in this environment, they're getting more miles than we are on OTR. And so we're at kind of this weird, it almost evens out place, which is really uncomfortable for Charlie and I, because for years and years, we have been pretty, don't sign that contract on dedicated. But right now, it's like everything else. Whether you're doing MRP, whether you do a new truck, whether you're a company driver coming over and you're going to use the FX program, do the numbers, do the numbers, do the numbers. The math is going to tell you if something is a good idea. You know, a lot of people start out with, oh, I just want a whatever. I want the KW. My fleet manager doesn't have any, so I'm going to go lease a truck. Okay, I guess.
Okay.
But understand what comes with all of that. Do the math. We at Contractors Corner, we specialize in helping guys do the math, helping them realize, okay, I can cut over here so I can make more over here, and getting the actual business part down. However you get your trucks doesn't matter to us. We've started actually just really, we don't care who you're leased to. We don't care how you got your truck. Doesn't matter to us. We've got 3 options right here at Swift. My recommendation, if you're going to look at Swift, is to either call Addison or Michelle Cantrell. Those are our 2 main people that we know. Will tell you basically what we tell you, with a few caveats. We still have some things to iron out. We might have to do something in the ring for charity next year.
Yeah, I like it.
So, one of the things that we talked about was did you ever figure out where that mileage threshold was, where traditional kind of starts being better than
I still believe
MRP?
that's sitting right around the 23 to 2,500 mark.
Okay.
Myself there, just from the numbers I've seen and numbers I've ran myself.
Okay.
23 to 2,500 miles. Anything above that, just like Charlie's mentioned, your take home is going to be a lot more, because you're saving that as far as the 12 cents per mile. You're able to put that towards you and your truck,
Right.
where instead of being just locked into it. But with today's freight, which is why I'm a MRP believer and supporter there. With that, average miles right now with Swift, you're still looking 21 to 2,500. So you're right there. And so it all depends on what your line of business is, what your goals are, on whether it's going to be a good fit for you.
Right. Huh. Because that was our sticking point, was that, yeah, it's just, man, you just don't have a crystal ball, do you?
I wish I did. If I did, man. If I did, you might not see me. I might be retired already.
Yeah. Well, and it's not, we have contact with people outside of Swift. It's not just Swift, man. It's industry wide, dude.
Industry wide, and
it's crazy.
And usually Swift comes out on top in the overall industry. And so that's kind of the scary part of being on the outside as well, is you hear some of the horror stories where 1,200 miles, 1,000 miles is a good week for them.
Yeah.
And that's why Swift ended up being a good home for them.
Yeah. We just had a guy come over from somewhere, and he was asking us about that, because his first week was only like 1,300 miles. And I'm like, well, it's your first week. Let's talk about some things. Let's get you some contacts.
It's an adjustment period. Adjustment period. I tell all my guys, give it a good month, get in a good swing, learn your network, right?
Yeah.
Learn your network, learn your tools, and that's something that Swift, I think myself, have utilized in my 15 years with us.
Yeah.
So
You've almost been around as long as I have.
yeah,
Almost.
March 15 years.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the MRP trucks, what are we looking at for weekly payments? And I know that one of the things that people look at with this is that they are used trucks. So the balloon payment at the end of the lease is about right at half of what a brand new truck would be.
If not even more so. Yeah, so overall pricing, the MRP program starts where the standard lease, like Jeff's truck, ends. And that's another benefit as well. If you get into a new truck, if you end up not having the capital, or if you're just wanting to keep it under lease, you are able to extend your lease and re-enroll underneath the MRP program. And so instead of your balloon's looking at what,
66.
66. So you'd be able to take, after your standard lease is up, extend that lease into the MRP program, extend it 2 to 3 years, taking your standard lease and enrolling into the MRP. There's some variables there on duration wise, but payment drops down to $450 to $470 depending on miles. and then your balloon payment can range anywhere between 20 to 30,000 instead of the 60 to 70,000.
Nice.
So if you're looking to buy your truck out, it's also a very realistic way to do that. Not everyone can come up with 50 or 60 grand at a blink of an eye.
Right.
And so that 20 to 30 is a lot more appealing on just that factor alone there.
You know, the only thing that we like to point out is if that is your plan, you know, a lot of these guys, that's just their plan. They're going to lease a truck for 4 years. They're going to pick it up with 2 miles on it, and they're going to MRP it at the end of that for another 2 or 3 years, and then they'll own it. It's a long wait. It's a long road to own a truck.
It's an investment.
For sure, but it's a way to do it. So if you're going to do that, though, you have to do all of the maintenance per your equipment lease contract.
Correct.
And what we've seen is that people don't even know that those pages exist, let alone look at them when they take a truck to the shop.
Well, that's a good thing to look at for sure on what's required on it.
So, you know, I mean, I'll just give you an example. At 100,000 miles is the first one. That costs you a little more than a standard B service. Because on the Freightliners, anyway, on the DD15 engine and D12 transmission, there's an additional 4 or 5 items that you need to have done at 100,000 miles. And the next one, I believe, is at 300,000 miles. That's where you start doing the transmission services. So you got to be looking at that thing because, you know, IEL, International Equipment Leasing, the company that Swift uses to do their leases through, they have to protect their investment as well. So if you're not doing all of those things that are in the contract, why would they basically refinance the truck in 4 years?
Correct.
You know, they need to make sure that they're not losing money on the deal because we're all here to make money from the top down, everybody. You know, that's what business is. We're all after our piece of the pie. So if that is your plan, make sure you're reading that section of your equipment contract and actually having it done. Now, the other thing about MRP, though, and this is something that'll be a sticking point for some of our people, is that you are required under the MRP program to have Swift shops do all the maintenance.
That is correct. Because obviously there's share is part of the maintenance. It's
Right.
just to help keep the cost low. It's kind of the business stature on that.
Right.
So, but when it comes down to making sure you're meeting all your maintenance intervals, that's just being a good business owner as well. You know, taking care of your equipment. You're protecting your investment. So
That's how you get a truck to last almost 1 million miles, and it's still not the engine that needs to be done. It's other stuff.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So there are instances where I've seen guys with an MRP truck get approval from IEL to go outside, but it's usually because they're broke down in the middle of freaking nowhere. And let's be honest, it would cost more to tow the truck to a Swift shop than
It would for the
to just
repair.
have Freightliner down the street do it.
Yep.
But the thing is that the relationship with IEL changes when you move into that MRP. I think that's a good way to put it. They've extended credit longer than normal, and so they want to make sure that, what happens to a lot of people doesn't happen to you.
Yep.
Because as the truck gets older, there is more maintenance.
Yep.
There, on my 2016, that one's at 944,000 miles. I just parked it in my backyard because it was just one thing after another. It wasn't even the cost, really. With a paid-for truck, if I turn the key on and I get a load, I'm making money. So it wasn't really the cost that was killing me; it was the downtime.
Yeah.
And we've had one issue with the new truck, but it was a thing covered under warranty, covered under and I happened to be staying across the street from a Freightliner that night anyway, so it wasn't even that big of a deal. Just got it fixed and got rolling again. But as the trucks get older, there is more. It's little baubles that break. The heater core, the cooling lines going to the DEF, things like that start breaking, and then your downtime.
Yep.
So I still believe that the best business model is to obtain a truck and pay for it. Get out from under any payments. You know, we enjoyed 2 years of no payments, Addison. 2 years. It allowed us to...
It's a lot of freedom.
It allowed us the financial freedom to move from Oregon to Utah.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done that when we were under payments because it freed up that much income.
Yeah.
It was only 2 years, and then we're back in leasing again. But that was 2 years of, okay, what are we going to do with this money? And that was really nice.
It's a tough problem to have there, Jim.
Yeah, it's tough. It allowed us to escape from Oregon, and that's all I really cared about. Getting out from under that tax situation over there.
Oh, man.
So yeah. So MRP, you're still in the camp of MRP.
It all comes down to, of course, the owner's goals.
Yeah.
Right. That's the huge basis that I like to investigate. Because not everyone's made to have to run 3,000 miles. Not everyone's made for that.
Okay.
Now, when they're real owners and real truckers, yes, but it gives you that assurity, even though you're getting into an older truck. For one, we still give that 30-day mechanical warranty, just like Jeff's newer truck. We do give that on all the MRP trucks, and so we're going to ensure you're off on a good foot. And as far as the truck payment, it's hard to be talking $450 to $470 a week.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot easier to come up with that than what you got, 600?
$595.
595. Yeah.
So that's the other thing that I'll point out with him here. Swift did go through and evaluate the market.
Yep.
So as we know, in 21, mid 21,
Yep.
late 20s. So the truck market just went through the freaking roof.
Oh, yeah.
And even IEL Swift, they raised the price of their trucks to match the market.
Yep.
Well, now the market has settled down, and they've actually, and this impressed us, they've actually gone in and reevaluated and repriced the trucks to current market. I did not expect them to do that, Addison,
Being competitive.
but they did.
Yep.
So we're really happy about that. You want to be if you want to be in business for yourself, though, there are a lot of different ways to get a truck. Swift has a couple of really good options. They're not the only game in the town. It's just the one that we at Contractors Corner, Swift is our home, has been for, 17 years. And so we know their programs and all of that better than any other carriers because we actually work the system. Mm-hmm. That sounded bad. We work the system.
Well,
Spent the last 18
utilize your tools.
Yes, utilize our tools. But don't dismiss any of these opportunities just because it's a Swift or even, dare I say, a Prime or something. You got to do what's good for you and your business. And the MRP program works out for a lot of people. It's a good opportunity for a lot of people. The new trucks that I prefer works out for me. But, we can discuss what my business model then is. It might be different than someone else's.
Yep.
My goals are absolutely different than other people's, right? And you got to take all that into account. Where we see Swift mostly falling in and being a great fit for guys is really that dude that's never been in business before, has dreamed of owning a truck, because Swift has this, like no other company out there, support system. They don't want, like IEL, they don't want their truck back. They want
success.
you to be successful and pay for the truck.
Yep.
So that's kind of an interesting thing at Swift. I know that Swift gets a lot of Swift, but the fact is that at Swift itself, we kind of call it going to Papa Swift.
Go to Papa Swift, yeah.
And say what you want about it. When you're about ready to lose your truck or your house or something like that, and you built the relationships at the carrier, and you can do that, that's gold, man. And I've been able to do that at Swift twice in the last 15 years, where I'm like, hey, I'm just really having a tough time, and work something out.
Yep.
And I know for a fact that at some other carriers, they just like, nope,
It's all on you.
give us the keys. You're done.
That's a true story day after day.
You know, and as always, my disclaimer on that, as always, when we say stuff like this, don't abuse it, people.
No.
Don't think you're going to kind of fit swift and pull something over on somebody, because I assure you that is not the case.
Nope, nothing like that. But as far as the support network, and like we mentioned, just if you went to a dealership, you're not going to have that support. Not going to have that support. Swift's plan is to hire a contract to retire, and they're going to do everything they can to help you do that.
Yeah.
And so, that comes from week after week having that support and running successfully.
But yeah, that whole man, Charlie and I have gone back and forth on MRP or not, and it just the one that really got us is when they doubled the balloon payments on them. We were like, well, that just, because when we did the math, the balloon payment plus the 7, 8, 9 cents on the
MRP portion.
MRP portion, you were literally paying the same for the dang truck by the time you were done as a new truck.
So
There for a while.
and you guys put into to calculations that 5 cents per mile at the end of the lease that is eligible. So after the lease completion, that 5 cents in your repair escrow.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you are able to take that back and put that towards the balloon purchase.
Yeah.
Got to start training
Ten.
again.
No. I already took the passenger seat out, man.
That's what you were saying.
Done.
Yeah. Sitting down in the basement, letting the kids sit in it.
Keep it
To
warm.
watch TV.
Yeah. That'd be a good lounge, absolutely. Especially get a little air compressor on there. You're
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah.